Yeah, what up? It's XP the Marxman. Been here rocking with TeamDoneSon. You already know what it is, man. Because when you come to the team, you're done, son. That's all you need. You don't need nobody else.
Yo, so introduce yourself for the people that don't know who you are.
What's up, everybody? I'm XP the Marxman, uh, Los Angeles Underground MC. Um, been doing this for over 2 decades, over 20 plus years now. In the culture, rapping, making beats, producing, performing, traveling, touring, releasing music all the time. Um, I say that I'm a part of that new underground wave of artists that they call it the new renaissance. So I say I'm a leader within the new renaissance of hip hop. That's who I am. XP the Marksman.
Okay, so what would you say sets you apart from other artists?
Um, what sets me apart from other artists is I say the experience. I say the time that I sat and perfected, well, I wouldn't say perfected, but have mastered at this point styles and different pockets, cadences, being able to harmonize on my songs, to me taking the time to write basically the kind of stuff that a lot of people would not like. When people take this route, I like to take the scenic route just to give the listener more of a graphical, pictorial storyline to what I'm trying to convey in the music. Um, I feel like I'm from a place, and even my background and my nationality and what I do too, I feel I'm doing it for more than myself. Um, I feel that with everything attached to hip hop, it being a pivotal part of my life, and me studying the game, listening to the people that I listen to, and gaining access to artists that I've grew up to through the art form, I think that's always a signal of how far I'm going to go with it, because it's led me in places that I never would have thought I'd ever end up in, meeting people that I would have never thought I would befriend. And this culture definitely has given me an identity, and I feel with all the people that support me and support me in it, I can't quit, or I can't let up. There's a lot of people that believe in me, a lot of people that are not here right now too that truly believed in me, and I'm just gonna keep riding. I'm gonna keep riding until I can't ride no more with it, because I feel like with what we're doing, it's not like a physical sport. It's something that we can get better at time with, as long as we stick with it at this point. So that's what keeps me going, is knowing that I'm getting better with it and people support it, and I can't let people down with it. So
Where do you find the strength to push through during the hard times? Some really impactful, painful situations have occurred in your life over the last 3 to 5 years, losing your mom,
yeah,
just different other very intense situations. And it seems like, as someone who knows you, I know that those things impacted you deeply, losing your grandma, you know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Like those hurt to the core, but like you didn't miss a step. Like you pushed through despite those things. Like, did you use those for fuel? Like how did you push through that? And how did you like not take or break or stop during those times?
Uh, oof. I feel like it's something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like I fully haven't uh, gotten over it. I guess you, like they say, like you get stronger with it. You get stronger. It's not that you don't uh, deal with it. you know, because like I said, I deal with it on a daily basis, missing my mom, my grandma, you know, a lot of other things that have happened recently too as well. And you know, I've stressed over things, and I've put myself in physical you know, physical pain due to the stress and things like that. Not that I intentionally did to myself, but just my body responding to these situations. And I'm still learning how to deal with the stress, cope with the situations that have happened. And I feel music has always been me, it's always been my way of how I can therapeutically heal through things. Because you know, I tried the drugs route. I was on drugs for, you know, a long time in my youth due to like a lot of pain and stuff like that, trying to numb my pain. And I feel recently I've been able to really analyze my whole life situation up to now, and music's always been the main thing that has pushed me through and helped me through, and leading me to situations, people that have helped me through it as well, keeping me out of the dark end of the situation, you know, because it's easy to overwhelm yourself, stress yourself out. Like I said, like I know a lot of people that have stressed through situations to the point where it puts them in the hospital because physically it impairs you, and it you know, messes you up mentally, physically, emotionally. So you know, I feel like I've dealt with it on my own terms, you know, cried at times, grieved heavily, and I think that's always going to be the number one way on dealing with the problems, because you can't hold shit in. You can't try to uh, mask it, or try to do things that are gonna just numb it. Like you gotta face shit head on. You know, you can't let that shit just fester inside of you and kill you, because that's what it does, you know. And I feel like every day, like I said, it's not like I'm over it or I've grieved through it. I feel like I'm grieving through it every day, you know, and I get stronger with it. And I smile when I think of my mom. I smile when I think of my grandmother. When I see things that in nature remind me of them, I feel like I know that's a sign that they're around me and they're with me. So I kind of use the things in our worldly sense to remind myself that my loved ones aren't fully gone. They're with me still in spirit, in mind, even in body. Like, you know, I that's why with this music I feel like I can't let up. I can't let up, and I can't not do it. I cannot be great, you know. That's one thing that I cannot be, and not in that sense where I'm not great, but like it's something that I cannot get to the level of greatness for them, and you know, put their hard work as well that they put into me to become who I am, whether it was good situations or bad situations. Because I feel now that I'm an adult, all the situations I went through that I thought were bad, and I thought were the end, or you know, this is not a good situation, I feel like that's what ultimately created who I am today. So yeah, every day we cope with it. And like, you know, once things happen to you, really get to, you know, pinpoint and say, you know, I'm not alone in it either, because you know, I'm not the only one that has to lose a parent, lose a grandmother, lose things. You know, everybody has to go through it one day. And I feel like I know people that have helped me through it, that have went through it before me, and I want to be somebody like that for my friends, my family that haven't went through these things. Because you know, it's not nothing that uh, you know, I could say that if you don't know it, you're fully not gonna know it. But once it happens to you, I felt like I was like a part of a huger family, because you know, there's now I've met people that have lost parents that now they're some of my best friends, and just lost individuals in general. I guess that's why the music really, you know, pulls that out of me too. Like speaking about my losses and the people that I love and miss, and situations that I go through. And I think you become a part of a larger community with that. and it's a community that knows that pain, and we're able to help each other, and get us through the flames to a better place and situation. Because man, like, those situations that have happened recently in my life, like I know I'm not, like, no one's safe from that, and I feel like I still got more situations to deal with that as well. You know what I mean? And I feel like um, life, you can easily consume yourself with being afraid of losing people, but I guess everybody's going to meet that fate. So you kind of have that internally, knowing that it's, you're not the only one that has to go through that, but when you go through it, you're able to help others with it. And I think that's the ultimate thing with loss, and knowing when you lose, you don't really lose. It's just experience. You're just moving through the experience, and people that have went through that experience can help you through that. I don't like to sit and let those situations totally consume me. That's why the music has been a thing for my release, and for um, the situations that have happened to me, all of the past, the future that we have anxiety over and stuff like that. I feel like every day I work through it. Every day I work through it. Every day's a new way with it.
As a artist who is also a father, how do you navigate those two very time and energy consuming roles, and how does that impact you as an artist? And then also, do you have any advice for other people who are parents and deciding in those moments whether or not they should still continue to pursue their dreams after having children?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because I'm still out here. I'm fighting for my dream every day. My son is 16, growing boy in boxing, heavily influenced with the positives of it, working out with it, protecting his family, himself, friends. I feel being a father and being an artist, they both have equal amounts of energy you have to put into them to make them flourish. I try to be with my son as much as possible. As much as I just love his presence around me, whether he's in the same room with me or he's in another room on his video games with his friends. I feel the energy having my son around me. It makes me feel safe. I know he's safe with me, and it just makes me feel great. Having that feeling. And with the music, I've tried to bring him around it, put him around it, not forcibly, but have him around my friends, and he loves it. He loves all his uncles, like Uncle Hal and everybody else that it comes around. He has a lot of love for them, and I try to get him into the music as much as possible, and just incorporate him, not in the sense of making him make music, but just be around it and meet the individuals that do this on a day-to-day basis and chase their dreams. Fully freelance individuals that do this from the ground up. And as much as I wasn't good in school, I'm not putting that pressure on my son to learn everything in school. I want him to figure out something that he loves and go all the way with it. Because I feel I've always been an advocate for chasing your dreams, being a freelancer, doing what you can to survive, not in the sense of illegal properties, but in the sense of just doing things that are going to make you happy. And I feel like doing the 9 to 5 stuff, if you have to do that and then come home and work on your dream, then that's what you have to do. And I've always done that. So I've never I've never had a issue with that. I know a lot of people that um, were artists, and then they have kids, and then ultimately they try to do both, and they quit, and they blame shit on one or the other, and I don't have a soft spot for that because I feel like everybody has their shit that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So if you really want something, you're gonna go for it, regardless of what it is. If you're a dad now and you have to, oh, I have to focus on this, I have to focus on that. I get that completely, but at the same time, you know, if you're good at something and you've put the time and the effort and you believe in it, it's an investment. The ultimate investment is always going to be yourself. And like I said, I feel this is a grown man's game now with hip hop. The more experience points you have, the more stories you have, the more shit you go through in life that you have, it feeds the music, and emotions are put in the music to gain fans and gain the supporters that truly believe in what you do. They believe your instances that you go through and you share, they can connect with them. And I feel if you still have that, you should always put time aside to do your craft, because that's what keeps you young. That's what keeps you hungry. You know, it's something that's hard sometimes when we don't have the time. We're working all the time, super tired. I get it. I could get it completely, but I don't have tolerance for people that speak that I can't do that, because you should be able to give energy here, energy. You give energy to wherever you feel needs that energy and you want to see something grow. So the relationships that you choose to put the energy into are going to flourish. And being a father and being a single one at that for a long time, I feel like putting that energy into your family and into your kids, that's always going to be number one. And having the ability to do your music when you can, how, you know, and feed the flame, that's up to you, and that's always going to be something that can be done. You just got to find the time for the things you love, and that's basically what it is at the end of the day, you know.
Okay. How long have you been working with Team Dunson, and how has that come about?
Oh man, that's been over a decade of work, friendship, um, but knowing the how since, well, I want to say 20 years now. I met him through a mutual friend of ours back in 2005 or something like that, and or 2003. Shit, yeah. So yeah, it's over 20 years at that point, I guess. And so yeah, like just having these dudes that were from, you know, California, we're from LA, they're from the Bay. They connected on a track, my crew and forensic science. And you know, it was, you know, back in the time where hip hop was like super fresh, super new. I mean, it wasn't new, but it was. I was saying, I would say the underground was really something that was being put on the forefront, and being a part of that movement from LA, linking up with one of the groups that we felt were a strong team, you know, from the Bay Area. That connection led to doing music. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the song, but you know, I think linking with Team Dunson fresh out of the gate, it was a part in my lifetime where I was doing music, and I was doing music alone. I was on my solo venture.
Yeah, you kind of went your separate way at that time. Not like that y'all broke up, but it was just like
Yeah, it
kind of a
was.
time where you guys were doing your own thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I feel like we never truly said that we split up, or we never really did. It was more of me just being in the lab all the time, just trying to perfect my pen and just being there, just writing, and it led to me being able to do a lot of music to where it kind of looked like I was doing the solo thing, but it was just more of me creating, and not just allowing certain things in my life to fully allow me to just be comfortable, you know, because we already had dropped our first album, and you know, we did a Snoop mixtape, and we did a few big things early on in our career where I feel like, you know, a lot of people got comfortable, including myself, but I didn't let myself get fully comfortable, you know. I just had my son, and I was like, either I'm gonna do this or I'm not gonna do this. And I started doing it. Shout out to the homie Figment, man. I was over there just knocking shit out all the time. Dropped a few mixtapes, and yeah, and it was around that time where I had met TeamDoneSon, and this particular tape was off the Limitless project that I did. And then I think we connected about 2013, right? So this particular project I had dropped a year before that because I was in. No, actually, it was that same year that I had dropped the Limitless project because I had went to Europe in 2012, my first time, and that's when I connected with that producer that made that project. So I think we
Oh,
cooked it up.
and I, not to interrupt you, but I think you gave me the CD at the cannabis event, maybe.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it
And I
was.
had the CD for a while, and I hadn't like listened to it, and I finally like I put it in my CD player, and I was like, holy shit! I was stuck on that shit for a minute because like I hadn't really heard a lot of people, especially like in our arena of quote unquote underground music. It wasn't common, especially at that time, for fools to be like rapping and singing.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean? And like doing it in a way where it was like dope and it wasn't corny or cheesy.
right,
You
right.
know, but it
I
was
feel
like
that.
you were doing it like in a really ill way. And then like I just was like, we were building the videography portfolio and just growing in that space. And
Right, right.
that's when we reached out and we're like, yo, your shit is super dope. We already know you, you know.
Yeah, that was cool because I remember exactly where we met at. It was at the cannabis battle versus Disaster. So that alone was ill to see you
We
there
ran
too.
into each other. We
We
didn't meet.
yeah we didn't meet there, but that was when we kind of linked up again because I remember I had some of those albums and I was like handing them out at that event.
You were about to leave, right? You hadn't left yet.
Right. Yeah, and it's crazy because like that's like shameless promotion for sure. Like handing shit out at like a battle and shit. But I had just dropped that project and I felt really good about it, and I was just trying to I was trying to pump that shit out as much as I could. It being an international project, I felt fools would kind of feel it, especially the beat selection because it was more of like what was out at that time, like kind of spacey, hi-hatty, trappy-ish, kind of production on that. And I felt like that's kind of where it was at that time.
Saying I was rated top 5 out in LA. Play mine, gonna change mine. Everybody want that XP in they songs now. On the same grind, getting stage time. Y'all exiting, we the same sign. Been around once since the 8th time. We out here getting paper.
But yeah, man, that's basically where we connected. And the crazy thing was we had shot Beyond, right? It was
First? No.
No. But it was nah.
Within the first couple of years.
What was the first?
Uncharted.
Uncharted. That was the first one.
Yeah, we kind of made a little movie. And
Right. Oh
we had
yeah,
your
that
friends
was
doing
Uncharted.
the actor thing.
Oh yeah,
like
that was the first one.
The guy was like talking shit about like, man, XP, that fool's like, and the other guy was like,
crazy.
nah.
It was Uncharted.
And Dingo was like 5. He was like a little
Uncharted.
baby.
That's crazy. Yeah, and this fool, the how it came through. It came through with a treatment and shit. I was like, word, like this fool really wants to shoot some shit. Like this fool had a whole storyline plot. I had homies that were willing to like play the roles and shit. So
we had acting in our shit,
yeah,
bro.
we had
Not a lot of fools were doing that.
Yeah, that's right. That nobody was doing shit like that at that time. But that was the first one, and then I remember I went up to the Bay, and we had shot the Beyond shit, and that's when I knew like there was some shit that we had, like there was some ill shit. That's where I knew we were gonna tread on some ground because a lot of the shit that we did, I just that's the shit I wanted to shoot, and I was just constantly creating music to to the point where whenever we did tap in, he's like, yo, what you got? And I just like, I got this, let's run that shit. And you know, we began this little thing that we call the round-offs.
Just in case I Bruce Lee the brick. Chop it down, I'm on my triple flip. Life's a bitch, you better pay the trip. I take a couple toasts to the head. Then I get up out of bed and get my bread. Said I ain't got no time to pretend. I'm just trying to live this life like there's no way that this could end. Said I, yeah, I take a couple toasts to the head. Then I get up out of bed and get my bread.
Where basically we link up and literally we give ourselves like a half hour, if that, like just to shoot some shit on the spot. Like if we travel out to a new space, like even when we link up. But I think now they've become more of a little bit, certain songs I would say, they become more professional, obviously, and they grow. But I think even the round-offs that we would do so fast and quick, we do them so efficiently now that we can't really call them something like quick. Like, just, you know, this is shit that we do so quick, time-wise, that when people see it, they feel like the shit's a movie, you know? So it's grown in that sense of where we've been working together for so long that when I show him this music, he knows that and that we're gonna shoot some shit, and he'll come with a vision and kind of edit the shit on the spot, like as he's shooting it. So he'll come to a place where we don't really know, or where kind of have an idea of what or how, but it's nothing that we know going into it. It's something that we just pull out of the universe, basically. It's basically just being pulled from the surroundings and the music and picturing the beat. When the drone flies this way, we're just kind of like, it's an open space, and you know, so just incorporating a lot of the stuff that we've worked on through the years, incorporating that stuff into the music videos beforehand, before we even walk out of the car or hop out to where we pull up to. I say it's a symmetry and a synergy that has been developing over, you know, over a decade, linking up, being able to shoot stuff, and people just, they trip out because they, you know, they're like, oh wow. And I can't wait, because like there's a point where, you know, we can display this shit for people. So we're gonna pop up on fools and just be like, "Yo, check this shit out, blah 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 blah, get back to the spot, blah 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 blah, video for you," and fools will be amazed. But you know, it, like I tell all the other homies, like it takes years for you to be able to paint the Picasso in a minute, you know. So we're at that point. I feel the house working with, you know, big names now here in the Bay, legendary individuals, and you know, I'm always treading new ground with this art form. So I feel whenever we link, we bring shit to the table that amplifies all the years that we've done work together, and everything just gets better. Everything gets better with time, you know, and we're here now, dropping these shits like fucking gems on y'all fools.
How would you say that you guys have navigated, you know, both of your growth and, you know, like the different teams and people that you work with without like do you guys clash? Like do you are you have like is the creation process just like smooth and effortless and fun?
It's like I said, it's like a symmetry where, you know, there's, when we did a project together, there was, you know, things that we didn't agree on, you know, certain things, but it never turned into anything that was crazy wild, because I think we both respect each other as artists to that point where if there's something that needs to be said, we say that shit. It's built off trust, real friendship, and, you know, believing in one another. And I think once you have all those elements kind of added in the pot, generosity, similar, you know, vision, similar, you know, destination in mind, where, you know, you're taking care of yourself, your family, your friends, the ones that truly have been around you. And I think cultivating that over 2 decades prior to us even shooting videos, having that history and having that ultimate respect for each other as artists, moving into this friendship and then working and then
Hey, check it out, homie. It's your homie Little fucking Mijo right here putting it down with my fucking raza, homie. World fucking wide, homie. Believe that shit, homie. In fucking Manila? Yeah, so we fucking putting it down. Hell yeah.
It's Joker, vato. Fucking got out your tongue.
developing, you know, art together. That is alone is, I feel, is the magic that hip hop does. That's unity, you know. That's what hip hop truly is about. At the end of the point, is bringing people together, being able to pull things out of the universe, create magic, music, and being able to travel, shoot video, like that whole thing. Being able to do that is a blessing, because you know, not a lot of artists are able to link with individuals that see your vision and believe in your vision ultimately, and are down to do the barter system. Like, yo, let's work together to create something great. Like all that other shit, the business, all that stuff, we'll do that later when fools are really tapping in with it. But you know, we have an unspoken bond where you know, we get to work, and that's exactly what it is. It's an investment that me and TeamDoneSon have been investing in for over a decade, like I said, and it's only going to grow, because it truly is an artistic investment, you know, of years of developing art, visual art. And we're at a point where we do, like I said, we do the Picassos like that, and people need to see that. People need to really understand what true friendship really is. And I think, once again, I'm getting back to respect, is respecting one another's, how they think, what they believe in, how they do their music, how they do their life too. Like whatever it is they choose to do, like you respect it, you know, as long as they're not hurting themselves, and it's built off righteousness, doing shit, you know, for yourself to help others. Truly believe in that shit, man, because I think that's what keeps people really locked in with, you know, positivity of life and shit. Especially when you have kids and you're working hard for something, you know, you can't be out here acting a fool and doing no dumb shit. You know, we're passing. I think when we met in our life too, I think that's kind of where we were headed too. You know, we're kind of headed on that. Just being who we are today at that point, you know what I mean?
Does the how, like you mentioned that the how's an artist himself,
Right.
does that ever impact your guys' shoots in a negative way? Like, is he trying to like insert himself in, or is it ever?
Yeah, I mean,
does it
yeah,
create a
man,
bad thing?
that fool's fucking, you know, that fool's like Suge Knight, dude, when he pulled up on that shit, and he's like trying to be in the videos, trying to be on the songs. Nah, man, I'm just fucking around, man. Nah, I feel like him being an artist brings and adds to the creativity for sure. Like that's one thing, because if he's not shooting a video for me or for, you know, the people he be shooting for and shit like that, like he's either doing it for himself, his homies flying in, and he's like, yo, like he's constantly elevating with the camera. So whether it's for himself or he's doing it for a homie, he's gonna go all the way with it, to the point where like I'll be telling this for like, yo, man, I chill, like I'm tired, dude, like I'm fucking tired on my last. But you know, he pulls it out of me, and next thing you know, we have a crazy video, you know, because the energy sometimes, you know, with this shit, you get tired with this shit, you know, you're tired, and you're working, you're doing mad stuff. Like we work as soon as I touch off the plane, you know, come through to the spot, I drop my things off, he's like, yo, you're gonna rock in that fit? I'm like, let me see, you know, like it's something that is like pretty much unsaid or unspoken. It's like when we leave, we're working, we're not going to clubs, we're not going to bars, we may eat some hella bomb ass food, but we're not doing no other shit, you know, it's just work. And I think that's the respect about it too, because I'm not coming out here and, hey dog, you know, and he knows I'm out here at the bar knowing that I gotta be up because we're shooting. Like he knows I'm super professional about this shit. I take this shit super serious, working on my health, working on my mind to be able to be the full artist that I'm meant to be, so people want to rock with that shit. You know, I'm not out here doing no shit to jeopardize any relationships or jeopardize my health for you know, for things that are just easy you know, dopamine things where, you know, it'll ruin who and what you're trying to be. So I feel at this point, just having that mutual respect for one another, that knowing that when we locked in, we locking in, boom. And how's always came through with that vision. He's always came through with that vision, whether I tell him, you know what, I'm not really feeling that. He'll be like, all right, don't even trip. Well, you know, and then next thing you know, we'll end up doing some other shit. But I think just having somebody that's willing to give an artistic vision to what you're doing and not just saying, hey, so what do you want to do? What do you want to shoot? Like, you know, having that artist come in with a vision that he would do also for himself. That's the ultimate thing with Team Dunson is they know art because they are art. You know, they put their art in there too, because if they're gonna do it for you 100%, they, you know, they're gonna do it for themselves 100%. So either way, man, I think like having the how be an artist as well, it just adds to the aesthetic of the whole shit, you know.
What are couple, you know, of your favorite collaborations, like visuals, projects that you guys have created together, and maybe talk about one or two of them that stand out and maybe why?
Shit, man. First off, it has to be the Rock Marcy joint. You know, that right there, artistically, and being able to have the resources we had for that visual, I think that was off top one of the illest ones. The Orasan video that we did in the Philippines with the kung fu shit, like it's so crazy. Like we've done so much that this would like, remember that video, dog? I'll be like, what? And he'll play this shit. I'm like, oh damn! Like it's to that point. Like we've worked so much and we've done so much that there's certain videos that I'm still being reminded of because we shoot so much, you know, content. Whether it be a round off or we're doing a little bit more elaborate things with what we do, you know. There's definitely the Rock Marcy one. There's definitely the Orazan one that we did, the terminology one that we did in Massachusetts. You know, that was dope. Like there's so much crazy stuff that we've done.
That Run with That Torchy?
Run with the Torch, man. There's that one. Let me see, man. Two, the ones we did for the one we did in New York and New Jersey. That was crazy. Where like it was windy and like
Shout out Alabanza. That boy
Straight.
Alabanzi.
Yeah, that boy Alabanzi. You know, I feel like man, there's been a few where we've shot, and you know, whether Hal was behind the lens or he was, you know, directing the shit or just having the vision for it. I think, man, those are gonna be my top three, I would say. And you know, there's been round offs where
So the Marcy joint, the terminology joint, and what was the other one?
the
Orson movie.
Yeah,
Those are the
Orson
top
movie.
three.
Yeah.
Because I mean, those were really in depth, thought out.
Yeah, and just like I said, like having the resources to create that
Right.
that content.
It's
you know.
different, right?
It's super different, man. You know, when you have a budget for shit, you can make movies. You know, you can do a lot of things, and just sometimes you don't even really need a lot of money. Sometimes you just need the resources
And the creativity.
Yeah, and the creativity. And those are gonna be my top three. I mean, there's a couple more, but those for sure are gonna be memorable and you know, and pivotal in, you know, both of our visual or, you know, our careers.
What's some words of advice or inspiration for up and coming artists, or even artists? Maybe not even up and coming artists. Like, everyone's still up and coming, but like even artists that have been doing it a long time or new artists. Like, what's some advice you would give to them?
When times get rough, when you think about quitting, when you think about if you can achieve something, the best way to get through that is just keep going. Like, don't allow yourself, don't allow anybody else, don't allow a situation, don't allow a relationship, don't allow the financial aspect to it. Don't allow things that you can ultimately control detour you from your path and what you envision. It's going to be hard, it's going to be rough, but if you can persevere, then you'll be successful. And I think if there is any blueprint, or if there is any guaranteed way that you'll be successful, is to never give up. You know, that's been a proven fact. You know, what my path may be sooner than yours or later than yours, or, you know, whatever that may be. There's no timeline to success. And, you know, the more you do something, and the more you keep the faith, and the more you just get better at it, sooner or later somebody's going to notice that, and it's going to get to a space where you feel you're successful. Because success, from a lot of people's perspectives, are not the same. You know, my idea of success may be different from yours, but in the end, as long as you feel you've reached success through the trials and tribulations that were brought upon you, and you kept going, and that's the best thing you can do, is just keep going. So my hat's off to you if you're going to take this journey to artistry, because it's not an easy one, but it's definitely a rewarding one. And I wish everybody luck, success, and health and wealth.
And I hope you're good at depression.
And yeah, it's gonna get rough. It's gonna get rough. It gets rough still. You know, we go like this. It's like a roller coaster. But like I said, everybody's idea of success is different. And once you get to that space, I wish you more health and wealth, and more achievement and more success, because that's what we all deserve. Yeah, what up? It's XP the Marxman. Been here rocking with TeamDoneSon. You already know what it is, man. Because when you come to the team, you're done, son. That's all you need. You don't need nobody else. Hats off to you. Love you, brother. And we out of here, man.